So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the episode of Hard Foul Radio. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I'm not going to come in and give you LeBron James injury impact, MVP convo. What does it mean? How soon is he going to come back? I don't care. Not that I don't care about LeBron, but I think this injury in the long run is going to end up meaningless. And barring it being a bigger deal than we were led to believe, and I'm going to stay in the dark on this. I don't have anyone that talks to LeBron. I don't know. LeBron hasn't hit my line in the last couple months, Unfortunate. Without the knowledge of knowing if this is something deeper and darker, I'm going to go with he's got a high ankle sprain. He's out for a month. I believe LeBron is one of those people that are just built uniquely different. And so I don't know if he will be out for the full month, nor do I doubt that he will come back possibly better. He just has a very uniquely built body. And his genetics are just better than 99.9% of us. With that being said, the impact of this injury, I think, is almost zero. Now, and I'm going to say impact is zero, I mean impact on the Lakers' success in the long run, because the Lakers just won a title with no home games. I don't think they really care if they're a 6 seed or if they fall down to a 7 seed. I was ripping on guys that this year would come in and talk about, oh, LeBron is clearly the MVP. Look at that great game he had without AD. And it was them blowing out the Timberwolves by 20. It's like, it's the Timberwolves. They have the worst record in the league, and the Rockets have lost 20 straight games until a day ago. Now, a problem with LeBron's injury, though, is the pure polarizing factor that is LeBron James. Because LeBron hides something really well. LeBron hides the fact and disguises the fact that the NBA is not very good right now. Now, the NBA is still extremely popular. The NBA still has an incredible reaction from the fans. But if you're looking at the product on the court, you get 1 or 2 guys per team that, something we love to say here, like, oh, this guy's hooping, oh, this guy's putting up numbers, but the team stinks. John Wall is having a great bounce back year considering what he's been through the past 2 years. The Rockets have lost 20 straight. Last year, the first 2 years of his career, Trae Young was always putting up numbers, always was hooping, but the Hawks sucked. Zion put up numbers last year. Pelicans weren't good. Devin Booker put up numbers. The Suns weren't good. And that's kind of a reflection of where the league sits right now. Think about this. For great players, I don't think your seeding really matters. Because you're just great. And you're going to be great no matter what the circumstance is. Kevin Durant and the Nets, even though they might get the 1 seed, I don't think they really care. Because when they get to line up, if they're all healthy when it comes time for the playoffs, Kyrie, Harden, Durant, it does not matter if that's a 1 seed or an 8 seed. Kyrie, Durant, Harden, that's a team to deal with. Might be the best team in the league. The Lakers the same way. They're not going to care. When it's LeBron and AD, they line up. They don't really care if they're the 1 seed or the 8 seed. But now, as far as a product for the rest of the NBA, let me see here. In the Eastern Conference, which has always been considered the worst conference, have you seen the records of these teams? Now, let's be fair. It's COVID. There's other factors going on. Like if you're a team like the Timberwolves and your best player has been impacted to the extent that Karl Anthony Towns has been, basketball is not the first thing on your mind. But even with that being said, I will give the moral pass of if you're not up to it because of COVID, that's on you and that's completely fine. That's a valid moral reason. Like I said, let's skip the East for a second just because the East is really bad. But even in the West, the Mavs are 3 games over 500 as an 8 seed. The Warriors are the 9 seed, and they're at 500. The Grizzlies and Pelicans. The Grizzlies are just at 500. The Pelicans are 5 game under, and the rebuilding Thunder with 3,036 draft picks are 5 games under. These are the teams in contention for those final couple playoff spots. And even the teams that are dominating. Well, the Lakers were, but now they're going to fall back with no LeBron and AD. The Nuggets are starting to have a surge, but they've been hovering around 500 for most of the year. The Blazers were around 500 before this past week with Dame. The Spurs are a couple games over 500, and now they're getting rid of Aldridge. And the Mavericks, we were literally told Luka was like, well, I was kind of fat and out of shape because the season was starting for a couple more weeks. Let's go to the East. This is where it gets real bad. The Atlanta Hawks It's so good to see Trae Young's team doing well. Trae Young, if you were a fan of Trae Young, you're like, oh, he's finally getting to the playoffs. He's going to show everybody what he can do. Oh, they are hooping this year. Yo, how good are they playing? They game over 500. So they like the 8 seed. Now they the 4. If the NBA playoffs started today, the Atlanta Hawks with a game over 500 are a 4 seed. The Charlotte Hornets, who just lost Rookie of the Year frontrunner LaMelo Ball, they're a 5 seed. They're fighting for home court. They just got to 500. The Miami Heat just got to 500. The Miami Heat were considered a bust and the biggest disappointment of the season because in a year, in almost any other year, where the expectation to get into the playoffs would at least be, okay, be 7, 8, 10 games over 500, like have a good record. The Knicks, they're the 7th seed. They're also 500. The Celtics are the 8th seed. They're under 500. The Bulls and Pacers, 4 games under. They're in that 7 to 10 playoff sequence. The Raptors are 17 and 26. Come on, man. The NBA has a problem right now. Is that its overall product stinks, and the NBA, because of the player empowerment, which I am for to a degree, these guys don't build teams. When you're great as a kid playing basketball and you're going out there on the court and you're doing pickup games, and as a pickup game, they're like, all right, you two are the best players. You guys got to be on separate teams. They separate you. A lot of times, guys aren't picking, okay, this is the 3rd best player. This is the 4th best player. Oh, he's the 2nd best player. No, you're picking your friends. You're picking the dudes you're cool with. Or you're picking the dudes who will pass you the ball. And that's what a lot of these super teams and the more player empowerment we've gotten, it's guys playing with their friends. Why is DeAndre Jordan on the Nets? Because he's friends with KD and Kyrie. Why is Kyrie on the Nets? Because he's cool with Kevin Durant. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, they were cool. AD, come on over here. The guys who are picking their friends, they're not building great teams. They're just playing with their friends or guys that'll pass them the ball. We just ragged on Paul George all last year. Why was Paul George on the Clippers? Kawhi Leonard wanted him. The NBA stinks right now, man. And I love the NBA, but it just stinks right now.